Usidunge tena, usidunge. Kata basi.
Sasa unajisikiaje? Mzuri. Wasichana wengine walikuja kukuona? Walikuja kuwaona Amina? Wakasema nini?
Nisema ati marafiki zetu wanafurahia sana vile tunatairisha.
I packed a lot of books with me and I was reading Harry Potter and The Prisoner of Azkaban. And then, you know, Mum interrupted me, she's like, oh, you know, it's going to be today. And I was like, oh, okay, right then.
It's not just something you just do it and it just gets better. You give paracetamol and it gets better. It does not get better. And I know me will stay with me till like the day I die.
An estimated 500 British girls will be the victims of genital mutilation this summer. It will happen during their school holidays.
Only thing they know is we go on holiday, because that's what they say to them. We are going holiday, we're going to go and visit your uncle or your auntie, you haven't met them, and we're going there for holiday for a couple of weeks and we're coming back.
Mum took me and she just said that it's time to get circumcised. And I was like, oh, okay then. And then she said we're going on holiday. I was like, oh, we're going on holiday as well, all right.
What this holiday will mean for girls as young as 5 will be a journey abroad during which their clitoris will be cut out, either entirely or partially. This is also happening in the UK. Summer is the most dangerous time for children. The 6-week school holiday is the longest of the year.
Any child who's going away to have FGM, if they have it in this country or abroad, then they will need a period of recovery of between 4 and 6 weeks because the legs are bound together to allow the wound to heal.
Jamelia lives in Leighton, East London. At the end of year 7, during the summer break, she was taken to Mogadishu by her mother to be cut. She was 12.
Even to the day when it happened, I was told that in the morning that it was going to happen today, and even then, I didn't really have any objections to it. I was kind of almost, well, I was submissive. It was something I thought that you had to do, so I wanted to do it. The house is usually empty. We rented like a big mansion, so it was usually empty. But when I came back into the living room, there was loads of women there. I was like, where did these people come from? But they were there. I later found out to hold me down.
Miriam is 32. She was cut in Somalia.
My sister was 6, I was 7 when I was circumcised, so my sister was 6. We were circumcised in a hospital, we were circumcised in a home, in my house, and it was the lady who does everybody in that area. You can cry, but it was kind of like a shameful thing if you actually cry or if you show that you're scared. So you kind of have to be this tough 7-year-old child.
So then I just lay down and I remember looking up on the ceiling and just staring at the fan. The woman who cut me, I remember she had one grey eye. She was very old. And I remember before it began, I was still lying there. She was negotiating with my mum with the money. And my mum had to pay her extra for using a new razor. And I remember the blood everywhere. And actually, one of the maids, we had these Ethiopian maids, one of the maids, I actually saw her pick up the bit of flesh that they cut out, and because she was mopping in the blood, because there's blood everywhere.
When the circumcision happens, they tie your legs together, so you don't take big steps, because if they take big steps, the stitch come out. Second, you have to go to the toilet and pass urine, and that was hell.
3 weeks after the operation, Jamelia came home to begin year 8 at her secondary school in Stratford.
I felt strangely a lot older, a lot older, and it was odd because no one says to you this is a secret. keep your mouth shut, but that's the message you get loud and clear. So I didn't really discuss it with anyone. Not even with the girls from my country who I probably assumed had the same done. Didn't really talk to anyone. Kind of like personal pain, don't tell anyone else about it. What's the point?
After having their clitoris cut off, the girls are sewn up tightly, leaving just one tiny hole for urine and blood. They are cut open again on their wedding day.
When my period started at the age of 12, I never got period. I didn't even know I was having a period. At that time is when I got sick. I got really sick and nobody knew what was wrong with me. It's when I went to theatre and I had the operation, doctors realized it was not a cyst. It was my period that started, but because there was no way to come out, it was staying in my body. Every day it makes me mad because I want to have a baby and I can't.
I felt very disconnected with my body because when you're a young girl, through puberty, you get excited about all the little things, like when your body starts to develop. And after that, I didn't really get excited about anything.
Mum, it's not your fault. It happened to you. It happened to my grandmother. It happened to my great-grandmother. It happened to a lot of generation back. So it's not like they knew to do it on purposely to me. It's just they just didn't have a clue that it's not a religious thing to do. It was just a bad cultural thing that's been picked up.
What isn't centuries old is the relatively new phenomenon of children being cut here in the UK. The NHS have confirmed that cutters are being flown into Britain to cut girls in batches.
We had some intelligence that with the credit crunch that cutters may be being paid to come over because it would be cheaper to come and do children over here as a large number than it would be to have families taking flights to other countries. One parent did turn around and say, we have parties, that was her description, and we would have a large number at a time. What a large number is difficult to identify, but looking at numbers of sort of 20 probably.
Despite having more girls at risk than any other European country, no one in the UK has ever been charged. In France, they have taken a much tougher line. This cutter was sent to prison for 8 years.
I wish we had a gynecologist at the airport because that gynecologist can prove that girl is just being circumcised. Because if they know there is a doctor in the airport and when you go in, he will know and do a checkup, and when you come back, he will going to do a checkup, they would not do it.
Some people think that's too harsh.
Well, again, what is too harsh? I'll ruin a little girl's life, take all of her organs, cut them off. So she's just like a shell, just walking. Is that hard? Is that all right?